So good morning to one and all. Here we are for the AICTE ISTE sponsored refresher induction program on value-based education system, current and future scenario. This session is session 2, day 2. It's going to be handled by Dr. Shekharappa B Mallur, Professor and Chairman, University BTD College of Engineering, Karnataka. The topic is going to be on National Education Policy 2020. Welcome you, sir. Now I request Dr. R. Murugan, Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology, to introduce the guest for us.
Thank you, Amos. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Shekharappa Mallur for our participants. Dr. Shekharappa Mallur, he graduated as a mechanical engineer from Gulbarga University in the year 1988. He completed his master's degree in the production management from BBB College of Engineering and Technology, Hubli, in the year 1992. He has been awarded PhD from Visvesvaraya Technical University, Belagavi, in the year 2012. His area of research is total quality management. He started his career as supervising engineer in Quality Tools Private Limited, Hubli. He started his teaching career as a lecturer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at Rural Polytechnic, Hubli, in the year 1988. In the year 1991, he joined as lecturer in STJ Institute of Technology and served as lecturer, senior lecturer, assistant professor for 21 years. In the year 2012, he joined SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad, as a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Meanwhile, he also worked as Deputy Dean Examination as an additional assignment. In the year 2014, he joined University BDT College of Engineering, Devanagar, a constituent college of VTU, Belgaum, as professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering. In the year 2015, he has worked as special officer of Visvesvaraya Technological University at Regional Office, Bangalore. From the year 2016 to 2020, he worked as professor and chairman of Department of Mechanical Engineering. During the period of chairman, he brought some improvements in academic and development of infrastructure of the department. Presently, Dr. S. B. Mallur, serving as professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering of University BDT College of Engineering. During the last 30 years of his fruitful service, he has worked in different capacities, both at academic and administrative levels. He taught as many as 28 subjects for UG and PG students. He has been actively involved as member of various committees of AICTE New Delhi and member of Board of Studies in some of reputed autonomous engineering colleges in the state. Also member Local Inquiry Committee, squad member and chairman and board of examiner of Visvesvaraya Technological University, Belgavi. He received Best Researcher Award by VD Good Professional Association, Trichy, India, in the International Scientist Award of Engineering in the year 2020. He received Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Lifetime National Award for the remarkable achievements in the field of teaching, research, and publications in the year 2019. He received the Best Paper Award for the research paper, a survey of total quality management practices in manufacturing small and medium-sized enterprises of North Karnataka region for business excellence, in the International Conference on Advances in Industrial Engineering Applications, held at Anna University, Chennai, during the year 2010. He received District Kannada Sagiti Sammelana Award for contribution in technical education in the year 2013. He also won a national award for a final year student project in the year 2005. In the cross country exhibition competition held in Tamil Nadu during the year 2005. He has published as many as 50 plus research and technical papers in national as well as international journals and conferences. He also presented technical papers at various national and international conferences, seminars, and workshops. He has been an active life member of many professional bodies in engineering education, both at national and international level. So it is our pleasure. We have with us Dr. S.B. Mallur. So now I hand over the session to Dr. S.B. Mallur.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for a nice introduction. Thank you, sir. We will proceed with the session, sir, now. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll share the screen, sir, now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Screen is visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yes, sir. Slide is also correctly visible. Can
Yes,
I?
Clear. Sir.
Is it clear, sir, now?
Yes. So I think, yes, it's full screen mode.
Yeah. Is it okay, sir, now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. It's my privilege and proud privilege to express my thanks to the PIT Chennai for giving me an opportunity to give a talk on National Education Policy 2020. Let us proceed with this. I think I welcome everyone for this NEP session 2020. This right side, you will be able to see that a cover page of an NEP policy 2020 that's given by 66 page of Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Government of India. So let us proceed with the understanding about the what is exactly mean as an education part. These are the content, 17 content have been prepared in this particular national education policy. Okay. Proceeding with this, the education, every country is going to be a rich, or you can say the poor. It depends upon the how best education policy is being placed in the nation. What is exactly the idea regard beyond of this particular NEP 2020? Education plays a significant and remedial role in improving and balancing the country's socio-economic framework. Every country is being highlighting in the global scenario, success in global scenario, it all depends upon how education policy is being established in that particular country. There are three important challenges for education system. There are three challenges. One is accessibility, second one is affordability, third one is equality aspect of it. Looking to this, these are the three real thing of the challenges for education. What is accessibility? Any education policy, it should access to the a social, or you can say society and in concern. It is accessibility is one of the most important parametric considering. It is a critical success factor to implement education, that is accessibility. Second one is here affordability. Any education system in India or in any country, it should be affordable. Affordable means it should be affordable to a local, or you can say part of a last version of a person in the society, and who are all been there in the top of the society. It should be enlightened, given to the society in such a way that here affordability is one of the most important criteria. Third one is here the quality aspect. How best education system, education policy has been given in the imbibing the or in incorporating the quality of any system, you are going to be making it in the best possible way. These are the three real challenges for the education system. Understanding what is education is in the process. Education is the process. Whenever we say it is a manufacturing process, even education is also a process. Process means a converting from one form to the another form. We say here education is also the process. It is also converting from one form to the another form. Then what are the things you are going to be incorporating in the education system? Education is a process of facilitating the learning or the acquisition of knowledge, skill, values, morals, belief, habits. These are the 6 important concepts: knowledge, skill, values, moral, belief, habit. Look into this particular even AICTE, ISTE, a title of the this workshop is also been included over here. Moral is there, value is there, knowledge is there, belief is there, habit is there, skill is there. Almost all it is been imbibed into this particular title of this particular STTP also. When you say it is in a, these are all being included in the education system. When you say we are going to be given out an education, all these things are being, should be there in the process. Education is a gradual process which brings positive changes in human life behavior. It is not a upgrading process, or you can see immediately you cannot do the education system or imbibing into the every individual. It is a gradual process, and we say here education method include teaching, training, and storytelling, etc., etc. And most of the case, methodological teaching is also now at present a teaching pedagogy, which is one of the most important area people are being imbibing, or you can say people are going to be incorporating in the education system. Even AICTE is also bringing it in the form of higher education system, that is in the pedagogical tool, how it has been possible to bring it in a better formulation. Even you can say education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Whenever you want to go for the unlocking of this one, education plays a very important role. The true purpose of education is to make the minds, not carriers. I think when the mind is been prepared, I think everything is been prepared. That is going to be identified. Education is the vaccine for the violence. I think for every violence, only the remedy or vaccine is that education. Education is the mother of leadership. Where whenever we are going to be making it in the case of want to become a leader in the nation, or you can say leader in the globe, that is the only the education system how we are going to be incorporating into the nation building. As in this case, education is the most powerful weapon which can use the change the world. There is a one wonderful statement: change is only permanent on the earth. When you want to go for the change, there is one beautiful slogan says it very clearly: don't change with the change, change before the change. That is what is to be incorporated in the point in the case of an education system. Education is not preparation for life. The education is life itself. It means that what all we are going to be making it the life is itself is going to be called as an education system. We are going to be making it. As per Swami Vivekananda has been given a wonderful statement regarding about education. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. It is there inside in every individual. How best you are going to be making it, bringing it out of in the form of education is the way of how you are going to be educating an individual you are going to be called. Even Mahatma Gandhiji has been given a wonderful statement regarding about that in the connecting with the education. If you want to reach a real peace in this world, we should start educating children. Whenever there is an education, good education system, there we can believe that every nation is going to be developing in a better formulating one. I think APJ Abdul Kalamji has been also given a statement regarding about the purpose of education is to make a good human beings with skills and expertise. Enlightened human beings can be created by teachers. I think most importantly, it is being highlighted very clearly by one of the pioneers in the case of as everybody has been liked and appreciated, APJ Abdul Kalam. He has given a wonderful statement in this case. The purpose of education is to make a good human being. Whenever we want to make a good human being, I think there is a one saying, friends. Anything you wanted to make it over here, you should only human being. A hardware and softwares are nowhere without the human being. Human being is one of the most important criteria we're going to be making it, as even Vishweswara Technological University is being given out a wonderful saying in the logo. That is a human being, be a human being. That's what it is being given out in the case of the education system. It is going to be identified. Roger Baby is one of the great educationalist. He has been given 5 E's. I am audible, sir? I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear. Loud and clear.
Yes, sir. Slides are also changing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now here, Roger Baby has been given a 5 important E's. The important E's. That is here in this case, engage, explore, explain, elaborate, evaluate. The Roger Baby, he is one of the great pioneer in education system. He identified, even education is also starts with E. Whenever you wanted to get a good education system, all these 5 should be there in education part. That is here, engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. All these are all there in present system of an education system also are there. Even, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir. Even E is also starts with engineering. For engineers, there are 3 E are required. It is should be given. What are the 3 E's are there? Efficient, economical, and effectiveness. For engineer, E is also going to be given out. For engineers, 3 E are to be known. What are those? Engineering, it is E also. In effectiveness, efficient, and economical way. These are the 3 important E also taking place in the best possible way we are going to be making it. When you look over here, inclusion of 6 E's are also are being there in the inclusion of an education. You should look that here: equity, equal access, and equal opportunity, equal dignity, and effective communication, embrace culture. These are all we are being given out over here in the education system, are to be imbibed, or should be inculcated in the education system. That is, equity should be there, equal access should be given to all the people, equal opportunity should also be created to all the people to learn, and equal dignity and effective communication. It's another way we are going to be concentrating and understanding. Communication plays a very important role. That's what we are going to be identified. Then embrace culture. That's what the things culture is going to be. If you understood culture, and you can do the best as in this case. And once again here, there are 5 R are also are there in education system. We have to understand. Any education should be able to reach. Any education should be right. Any education is also got a very high responsibilities, and also it should also create a very good relationship. And also this education system also included giving respect to the others. These are the 5 R's and 6 E's are inclusion in education system plays a very important role. With this, I would like to proceed understanding regarding about the area where you are going to be making it in the process. Whenever we say here, teacher must understand with the Basque approach. Whenever the teachers are going to be making it, teachers should have a belief in this kind. B for belief, A for attitude. Attitude is the one where you are going to be making it. Every success and failure of an individual only depends upon the attitude of an individual. And also the skill is also another important area. Now it has been soft skill has come across over here, and also human skills plays a very important role over here. Skill also is one of the, teaching skill is also another important area for teacher should be there. And also once again, knowledge plays a very, very important role how we are going to be making it. The teacher must have bask in richness of the inclusion system. That is belief, attitude, skill, and knowledge. 4 important Basque approach it's going to be called. We are going to be making it as in this case. Let us proceed to understand the introductory part of a national education policy. What for it is being given out? Who are all being there behind of this particular? After how many years this NEP has been taken place in the introduction about in the Indian education system? After 34 years, that it has been resolved. I think it has been come across with a new education policy in the 2020. That's what it is being given out over here. Well defined, that is Futuristic education policy is essential for the country at a school and college level due to the reason that education leads to an economic and social progress. Anywhere, any country, progress is being identified only with the lead of an understanding of how best education system is being given out. Different countries adopt a different education system. It is not same. I think it is any education. I think different countries have been using different education system because the nature of the country is entirely different with the other country, and even you can say the scenario is entirely different. Understanding the present situation in that particular country, they adopted the education system. What is system we are going to be trying to understand over here? These are the education system, interrelated, interconnected to form one entire unit is going to be called as a system. You are going to be making it in the kind. I think different countries adopted a different education system. I think it is not only one education policy is not going to be holds good in all the nook and corner of the world. It is being given out. Different countries adopted different the education system because of their socio-economical progress, which is to be incorporated in the country. As in this case, recently Government of India announces a new education policy is based on recommendation by the expert committee headed by Dr. Kasturi Rangan, who is a former chairman of an Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. Under his leadership, under his chairmanship, committee has been formed, and in the 2017, I think they took 3 years to give the resolution, or you can say the framework of this NEP 2020. I think they have contacted many people, educationalists, and also they have given a questionnaire and they have collected information. After all these process of activity, they have given a wonderful thought regarding about the one it has been given as in the case of a National Education Policy 2020. India is being growing a liberal country for education reforms. Country has got about 845 plus universities. Approximately 40,000 students are studying in the higher education system or higher education institution. When you say it is in this case, what is exactly been making it in this national education policy? To make it grow, the growing liberal country, I think whenever we want to go for the country to be grown in a better positioning over here, education system has also to be incorporated accordingly, change in scenario, what exactly people wanted it over here in this case. That is the making understanding individual and how exactly changes is been happening in the globe scenario according to the education system is also to be required to change. Objectives of this national education policy bring in a human transformation change in the transformation changes in the Indian education system through holistic and multidisciplinary approach. It is one of the most important objectives of the national education policy, bringing a huge transformational changes in Indian education system through the holistic. It means that here bringing it everybody into taking into confidence and taking into the everybody's into the visionary of the point and incorporating into the policy, and also it is being enlightened over here. It is a multidisciplinary approach. It is being given out over here. Focus on the different aspect will lead overall development of the children across, that is across the country, how you are going to be making it. When this has been implemented, when it has been given out over here, there is a National Education Policy NEP 2020 approved by the Cabinet of India on 29th of July 2020. I think you can see here, it is approved by the Cabinet. It is not approved by the floor of House. It is to be yet to be discussed in the floor of House, and it is to be approved yet. Now it has been approved by the Cabinet on 29th July 2020. I think what is the outline of a vision of this one, new education system? It is earlier this one, 1986, it was replaced the earlier national education policy in 1986. It was being given out. Later it is been modified in 1992. That has been replaced, which has been previously available in Indian system in 1986. That has been replaced in the 2020. It means that here the formation of this total transformation is going to be planned in this particular 2020 NAP by 2040, it should be Indian education system should be established, well established in this particular point. I think minimum 10 to 20 years it required. Any education policy is to be established in any country. We are going to be making it. In this national education policy, how it should be included over here in the think critically. I think earlier in the education system of a policy, by hiring system. Now in the national education policy, it has been enlightening over here creative thinking, or you can see how it all you can create new aspect. That is what it has been given out over here in the National Education Policy 2020. It states that education must move towards the lesson content and more towards learning about how think critically and solve problem. I think thinking critically and solving problem critically, it plays a very important role. It has been highlighted over here in the National Education Policy. How to be creative and multidisciplinary, and in this case, how at all you can make innovative process, how you can incorporate, how we can adopt, and how we can absorb the new changes in the education system of a policy. Those are all being incorporated in the case of a national education policy. We are going to be making it. I think another case, this is think critically, which is being given out, and also for learners also national education policy is being enhanced over here in this kind. Education must build character. Of course, it is the most important point we are going to be trying to understand. And also second one is here, enable learners to the ethical, rational, compassionate, and also the caring, while at the same time prepare them the gainful, then fulfilling the employment. We are going to be making it 5 important terminology in this kind. That is here, ethical, rational, that is compassionate, and also caring. All these are all important process of learning. When you have imbibed in the case of a learning of an aspect of a national education policy is being given out, when you learned all these kind, you will get definitely gaining of a knowledge, and also you will be fulfilling the requirement of an employment that's going to be identified. This is another point, the evaluation of a national education policy. I think how at all education policy in India, it has been evaluated and it has been given out in the growth of this national education policy in India. I think I'm audible, sir? I am audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Clear.
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. Evaluation of a national education policy. There are 2 areas. One is that pre-independence. I think pre-independence is not been considered much in this education system of a policy. Earlier, as you all know that here, pre-independence, earlier to the independence, I think you can say here, during the year 1835, one of the policy has been developed, and later it has been developed by means of an 1854 Wood's dispatch has been given out, the theory of, or you can say the policy which has been developed. In the 1882, once again, Indian Education Commission has been given out over here. That's been identified as a Hunter Commission, 1882. Then the Indian Universal Commission, that is University Commission, it has been formed in 1902, 1904. That is in the another way we are going to be trying to understand over here. That is here the commission, that's the Indian Universities Commission in 1902 and Act in 1904, which has been given out over here. These are all been happened over here in the pre-independence education, that is independent, that is the education system of policy which has been given out. Later here, education in the pre-independence also, it has been given out over here. Gokhale Bill, it is in 1912. Then Sadlar Commission in 1917, 1919. Then Horte's Commission, it has been given out in the formulation of this. And also here in 1944, before independence. It is also before independence, pre-independence, that is the era it has been given out. Sargent Report, that is in 1944. These are all being given out definite in this case, 1835, 1854, 1882, 1902, 1904, 1912, I think Gokhale Bill, Saldar Commission, 1917, 1919, then Horte Commission, that is in 1929, Sargent Report, it has been given out in the year 1944. These are the, before the pre-independence, how the education system policy has been changed. Now we would like to try to understand over here, after post-independence, how this has been carried out in this case. That is here in 1944 earlier, now it has been changed 1948 to 49. That is University Education Commission Radhakrishnan Ayog, it has been called. That is 1948 to 49. Secondary Education Commission 1952 to 53. That is Lakshman Swamy Modular Commission. It has been given out in the 1952 to 1953. Then Indian Education Commission 1964 to 1966. The Kothari Commission, it has been identified. First time it has been given out over here in 1968, National Education Policy. It has been coined name. Now, in this case, National Education Policy, later after that, 1986, that is Education Policy, it is being established in India. I think looking all these things and all, I would like to show in a graphical representation of this one, how the route of the path, it is being taken in the case. I think you can say here, 1968, first time, that is here, the National Education Policy, Indira Gandhi government. I think you are all known about that, how the Indira Gandhi government has been announced, and the first national education system of policy in 1968, based on recommendation of the Education Commission 1964-1966. Later, during the year 1986, Rajiv Gandhi sir was the government, I think was there, inclusive new education policy facing the adult education and also empowerment of the minorities, keeping a name in that case. What is that here? Focusing on the adult education and empowerment of minorities, keeping in the view that Rajiv Gandhi has been established a new education policy in 1986. What all were there in the 1986 when P.V. Narasimha Rao sir period was there as a government of central government? I think in 1992 that has been given out a small changes in the 1986 National Education Policy, which has been given out over here, P.V. Narasimha Rao government, which has been given out. On what basis it has been emphasized over here? Entering examination for professional and technical programs, that has been introduced by the year 1992. Later, it has been given out here, 2005, which has been given out over here. The government is based on the commission, that is a common minimum program. I think 2005, I think when the earlier government was there, they announced common minimum program. In that common minimum program, this national education policy has been also brought in light. Later in the 1916, when Modi government has come across over here and they have planned to change the national education policy. Then in the 2017, that is a new education plan with a major changes scheduled to be launched by the Narendra Modi government has been planned in this case. I think a committee has been formed, then that has been taken, collected almost all the information. In the 2020, I think it's in 2020, national education policy has been given. Wonderfully, it has been, now we are all been thinking and moving across over here. This is another way we are going to be making it, how the growth of national education policy is being given out over here. 1968, that is NEP phase 1, first time. Then 1986, government led by the Rajiv Gandhi introduced a new education policy on education, that is here. 1992, then P.V. Narasimha Rao sir. Now in 2020, on 29 July 2020, Cabinet approved a new education policy based on MHRD draft NAP 2019, which was followed by the number of public consultation. That is what here, number of public consultation. It is not just an individual brain and brought here in this kind 2020. You can just look over here, 1968, 1986. Now here from this 1986 to this 2020, there is after 34 long years, this national education policy has been changing across with the consultation of the public and how it should be made, as in this case, even how to be incorporated in the positioning of this one. Even in the national education policy, the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, earlier it was there identified as in the central government, MHRD, Government of India. Now the Ministry of Human Resource Development renamed as the Ministry of Education. Even I can say central minister, now they are not being called as an MHRD minister, they have been called as a Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education, it has been renamed in the national education policy. We are going to be thinking regarding about that particular kind. These are all regarding about how education policy has been growth into the taking place in this particular point. What is the vision of this NAP 2020? What for this NAP? What is the vision of looking over here? Vision means for thinking. I can say thinking after a very long period, how it should be like NEP 2020, you are going to be making it. We say here, vision of this NEP, the national education policy envisaging on the education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India. I think we are all been making transforming of India. Any transformation to be take place for any nation, it is only by means of an education system. That is here in this case, sustainability into the equitability, vibrant knowledge, that is society, vibrant knowledge society, to make a knowledgeable society, or you can say high quality of education. Keeping in the view of this one, we are going to be making it, and not only in the keeping in the vibrant knowledge society and also high quality education, thereby it is making it over here India a global knowledge superpower. When you want to earn a superpower, and in the education system, what all it should be required to make a knowledge superpower, it should be enhanced. In the National Education Policy 2020, everything is being imbibed into this particular kind of an NEP 2020. There are three vision of this particular National Education Policy. An education system that contributes to an equitability and a vibrant knowledge society by providing a high quality education to all. In this national education policy, in other countries, even developed countries also, up to the 10th standard, 12th standard, education is free. After the 12th or 10th standard only, people are to be required to go for their choice of an education, they need to pay. But until and even up to the 10th standard and 12th standard, even in the developed country, education is free. In this case, an education system contribute an equitable. Equitable means, that is what here, that is, it is all of the society people, it should be learned. And vibrant. Vibrant means over here, it should be a powerful one. Whenever you will learn it, you should be powerful one, you should be recognized in the society. That's a vibrant. And knowledgeable society, knowledge society, by providing high quality education to all. That's what the first vision of this national education policy. Second one is here, develop a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental rights. We are all been talking about in the Constitution of India, we are been talking regarding about fundamental rights and fundamental duties, but that has been added over here in this case in the national education policy also. Develop the deep sense of respect towards the fundamental rights and also duties and constitutional values, bonding with one's country and the consciousness, awareness of one's role and responsibility in changing the world. That is another point. Fundamental rights and fundamental duties, it makes understand. Once you understand your fundamental right and fundamental duties, and everybody can contribute themselves for the growth of nation. That's keeping in the view that the vision, the national education policy has been established. Instill skills, values. I think here, these are the two important, and the knowledge also we have come across, knowledge, skills, values, and all these things and all are plays a very important role. Even you can say here in this case, instill skills, values, and disposition of a support, that is responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development to living, and global well-being, thereby reflecting truly a global citizen. Whenever we wanted to be competing, I think you can say India should be superpower in knowledge. It is only by means of how education policy is being built in the nation. That's what it is being given out. Because of that only, this particular central government has been thought of introducing this particular national education policy 2020. I think another area we have been identifying over here, transferring the Indian education system to meet the needs of the 21st century. What exactly we want in present situation, 21st century, well, depends upon the requirement, meeting or the requirement of the 21st century, this national education policy is being established. Rectify poor literacy and numeracy. There are 2 points that has been highlighted over here. I'll repeat once again. 2 important. Rectify the poor literacy and numeracy. It is highlighting on 2 points. Literacy and numeracy. These are the 2 important points it is being highlighting over here. The literacy and numeracy outcomes associated with the primary schools, where all it should be given out over here. Good literacy should be given, and also numeracy is to be established in the education system. Focus on early childhood care. I think we have to learn it very clearly. In the future slide, you will be understanding over here how exactly national education policy is being emphasizing or giving importance on the childhood care. And that childhood care, it is being focused in the national education policy. I would like to discuss in that next slide. It is there in the point. Reform assessment and exams. I think you can say here even examination reformation. Assessment is also plays a very important role in teaching learning process. Being holistic change in the education system of India. Many point in the holistic change in the approach. What is holistic change? Change is only permanent on the earth. Holistic change automatically plays a very, very important role in the particular kind of a national education policy we are going to try to understand. Now we have understood over here what for this national education policy is being given out. What are the key principles of this, the national education policy? Whenever any system is to be built in any point of this one, what are the key principles, on what basis, for what it is being established over here? Let us understand in this particular point of the slide. One is that here, respect for diversity and local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, policy which is being given out over here. First one is here, respecting for diversity and local content. Equity and inclusion. I think this NEP is also making it very clear that here equity is also plays important role. Then community participation, it is most importantly, everybody is being taken into confidence, and it is going to be suits to every individual, taking into the confidence and making suitability to all the people. That is over here, community participation is being taken place over here in the case. Use of technology, even technology is being also been fully included over here in the principles of this NEP 2020. Emphasizing conceptual understanding. What is conceptual understanding? Most important, any education system, concept should be clear. Until and unless concept is not clear, you will not understand the principal aspect of an education system. Rather than the rote learning and learning for exams, you are going to be making it here. What for your learning? Any education system should not be there only for the examination form, or you can say learning for only examination. It should be given out learning for the root level, what for you are learning it, how you are going to understand, how you are going to be lead the life by this education. All these things and all is going to be principles of this NEP 2020. Unique capabilities. I think another important over here, capabilities. When you say it is a capability, it is been making it over here two important aspects. That is recognizing and identifying them, each student. When everyone is hungry for appreciation, recognition. In this also, NEP is going to be making it very clear understanding over here how you people are going to be recognized and identified in the education system. Critical thinking and creativity. Most important, enlightening on this NEP is creative thinking and creative learning, critical thinking. How we are going to be making it? Critical thinking and critical creativity. Thinking and creativity, that's two important aspects, encourage a logical decision making in innovation. Whenever you want to go for the new product or new innovation, new thinking of an aspect, that's behind that education is most important place. That's because of that, another key principle of this NEP is going to be making it very critical thinking and creativity is also the most important pattern. Another one over here, last one is here, continuous review. I think in total quality management, we say that over here, what is the philosophy of quality management? Doing it right the first time and every time. In that also it says over here, continuous improvement, continuous process. It is most important one we are going to be making it. Because of that only, in national education policy, continuous review based on sustainable research and regular assessment, improvement is essential to be carried out. We are making it. I was talking to friends over here, childhood care, universal access to an ECCE. What is ECCE? It is ECCE, early childhood care education system. National education policy is been highlighting on this universal access to ECCE. I think childhood care. I think footsteps have been shown in the middle of the words, how it is being given out over here. That is how there is a one saying in this case, any crop is to be grow better, it should be sown it at the early stage, and it should be grown from the early stage. That's what we are going to be trying to understand over here. National education policy is been enlightening, highlighting the early childhood care education, ECCE. That's going to be identified over here in this case. What is being highlighting over here in this case? Fundamental learning curriculum, and also the preparatory classes, and also multifaceted, and also universal access. These are all universal accept, preparatory classes, and also multifaceted, and also fundamental learning. It starts with the fundamental learning, it goes to the preparatory classes, then it's going to be universal access, then it is going to be multifaceted point of this one. Even you can just look to the slides over here. In this case, it is at a beginning point, you may be able to look over here, small steps, I think small size, then it is going to be increased here, then still increased over here, still increased over here. We can understand with this particular kind of a slide, early childhood care education system plays a very important role. For every education system, it should be incorporated at early of education of children. Then he can do better in the future of this kind. That is, from the fundamental learning curriculum to the preparatory classes, then universal access, then it is going to be making it multifaceted task, which is going to be given out as in this case. Next, ensuring universal access to an education at all levels. How this is going to be making it at all levels? It is being given out over here. It is not only primary education. It is all education system, all levels. So because of that, now NEP has been started introducing in globe, you can say in the nation, in all the higher education system. AICTE has been specifically telling this should be implemented from this year onwards. I think there was a controversy saying that here, unless and until you did not implement a national education policy in primary school, and how it is possible to implement national education policy at higher education. This is one people are thinking now. I think if you are started thinking about this national education policy from first standard, I think it takes another 15 years to come to a higher education level. I think by that time, the importance of this national education policy for higher education system, we will not be there at present what it is to be given out over here. Thinking in that over here, All India Council for Technical Education has been taken it a bright step, or you can say bold step, introducing of this national education policy from this year onwards. That is here universal. That is, it is being given out at all level. It is being given out over here, all level. It is not only at a primary. It is going to be given out in all level. It is being given out. To say it is totally to be implemented, it takes minimum 10-15 years to be taken place over here, implementing of this national education policy in India. We are going to be talking on this particular aspect. Some expected outcomes are also for this particular education policy we are going to be trying to understand. Universalization of an access from ECCE, that is early childhood care education, to a secondary education system. That is one of the most important parameter in the expected outcome. Second one is here, ensure quality and inclusion. We are going to be trying to understand how possibly you are going to be talking about. Only important point I would like to make it over here, that is fundamental literacy, numeracy. It is being given out, literacy and numeracy. There are two important, FLN, it is being given out over here. Improve quality and achievement of learning outcomes in the two areas. One is that here literacy, second one is called as numeracy. Both the things are important for education system. That is fundamental literacy and numeracy plays a very important role. Focus on 21st century skills in teaching, learning and assessment. All these things and all you are going to be calculating and taking into the governance effect. All this, the overcoming of the language barrier in learning, I think that has been starting eliminating over here in the national education policy. All these things and all are being given out over here in the expected outcome. What is the right tag? Or you can say for every film there is a tagline will be there for every film. I think you know what is the tagline we are going to be adding over here for the, even for a product also tagline will be there. Even for the film also tagline will be there. For like that also national education policy has got also a tagline. It has been given out over here, national education policy. Whether it is, once again here there are 3 E's. Earlier 5 E's. Now here once again there is 3 E's. Educate, encourage, enlighten. There are 3 E's we are going to be making it. What are the tagline of national education policy? Educate, encourage, enlighten. These are the 3 areas of the tagline you are going to be trying to understand for this national education policy. I am audible, sir? I am audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Who is the chairman of national education policy? As you all know that here, Kasturi Rangan is the chairman of national education policy. I think what is the committee, how it is being formed? When the central government has formed a committee, 9 members committee, I think in the 9 members committee, they have given a contact number, they have given an email of this kind. Even it has been publicized, it has been one website has been created. Any suggestions, any point of a thing they wanted to add into this one, they have created a website of this kind. The committee has been formed and public opinion has been collected. And after that public opinion collection, this committee has been recommended national education policy, how should be by collecting opinion of the public. I think headed by the K. Kasturirangan, as you all know that here, that is the headed by the committee members, Chairman K. Kasturirangan. I think any committee will be always in the odd number. I think this is one. I think another point, most important, Nipun Bharat is in the national education policy. What is Nipun? National Initiative or Proficiency in Reading with Understanding the Numeracy. I think I was talking you here, the most important over here, literacy and numeracy. It is been given out over here in the national education policy. It has been given Nipun Bharat. Nipun Bharat, it has been identified national initiatives for Initiatives for what? Proficiency in reading, that is literacy. But proficiency in reading, it is going to be called as a literacy. With understanding and numeracy. What is that in numeracy? That is the new, which is going to be identified in the two kind. What is the literacy and numeracy? There are 2 points it is being identified over here in the kind that is going to be called as Nipun Bharat. It is being identified. How long a person can study in this the higher education, to go for the higher education? 15 years it is going to be given out. Then transforming curriculum and pedagogical structure, how it is going to be given out over here. This is the beautiful structure has been created by the national education policy. As you all know, friends, over here, this was the existing policy in 1986. This is the policy, that is Anganwadi, nursery, all these things and all, it is at this one. At the age of the 6, he is going to join a first standard. And up to 16th age of a person or child, he is going to study 10th standard. It is going to be called as a school education system. It is in been existing academic structure. It's going to be identified existing academic structure. And 2 years, PUC 1 and PUC 2, it is been identified as over here 2 years. Totally 18 years study of before going for the higher education of a degree courses, BA, BSc or BCom or BE or any kind or any process of a degree which are going to be identified. Now this structure has been changed to this year 5 plus, 3 plus, 3 plus, 4. This is what here in this case, what is 5? It is being identifying over here. This is going to be called as a fundamental stage. This is going to be called as a fundamental stage. In this fundamental stage, 5 is once again subdivided into 2 categories. That is 3 years. A child at the age of 6, earlier in this case, child at the age of 6, he used to come for the education in the primary school. But here in this case, it starts with the Anganwadi, preschool, Balwadi, etc. It has been taking place at the age of 3. It's going to be counted also here in this point in the national education policy. New academic structure, it is being given out over here. That is 3 years. It means that here children are going to be starting their education system at the age of 3. 3 to 6 years, for 3 years, they'll be studying in Anganwadi, they'll be studying in preschool, or they'll be studying in the Balwadi. It's going to be called as 3 name. It is being identified 3 years. After 3 years, once again 6 years only, it is going to be called here 2 years, class 1 and class 2. That is age 6 and 8. It's going to be called as a fundamental stage. It is being identified. Fundamental stage, it is being identified. Later, it is being given out over here 5 plus 3. Now 3 years is being identified, class 3 to class 5. 3, 4, 5, 3 years. Age from 8 to 11 years, it has been identified, that is preparatory stage. This has been identified as a preparatory stage. This preparatory stage is being identified over here very clearly. This is 3 years. After this preparatory stage, then once again, it is a middle age of a structure you are going to be trying to understand. What is middle age of a structure? You are going to be trying to understand over here 3 years once again. That is here 5 plus 3 plus 3. 3 is class 6 to class 8. That is age from group from 11 to 14. Once again, now after 10 years, I think you can say 10th class, they are going to be studying PUC first and second year in the earlier structure. Now it has been changed. There's a class 9 to class 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. I think 4 years is been given out over here. It is a secondary school education. Secondary school education. In this secondary school education, what all you will be learning it over here? In the fundamental stage, multi-level play activity based learning. Here you will be learning most clearly play and activity based learning only. But in the preparatory stage, once again here in this case, play, discovery, then activity based interactive classroom, all there in this case 3 years. In the middle age, once again, potential learning, that is science, mathematics, arts, social science, and also humanities will be learning in the middle stage. In the secondary stage, which has been identifying over here, that is the most important point. Now, multidisciplinary is being adding at this secondary stage of a 4-year, studying about greater critical thinking, flexibility, and student choice of the subject. They can study of their choice of the subject that has been included over here in the process of an education. Totally, it is here 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. You should understand how it all it is being given out over here. It says very clearly, fundamental stage, that is 5 years, 3 years as an Anganwadi, Balwadi, 2 years as a 1 to 2, 3 years as a preparatory, 3 years once again here mid, and also secondary school education. That is here 9 to 12 standard from age 14 to 18. Here also age is same, but structure has been given out entirely different with this structure and this structure. This is acceptable structure. It is being formed familiar with this kind. Earlier in the education system, we say here fundamental stage 5 years, preparatory stage 3 years, middle stage is 3 years, secondary stage is 4 years. All these are being given out over here 5, 3, 3, 4. It's going to be identified. I think here fundamental foundation stage, which is being given out over here 5 years in the foundation stage. 5 years foundation provides basic education learning, flexible multiple level, and also play level based activities, activity based, all these things are being given out. In mid school 3 years, preparatory school, it is going to be making it over here discovery and also activity based learning. And also foundation stage, it is being given out 3 years middle age, science, mathematics, arts, science, and humanities, you will be learning it. But in secondary education, you will be studying it over here, multidisciplinary subject, like over here, that is a great flexibility, it is there, great critical thinking, it is there, attention of a life aspiration, it is there, student exposed to the semester system will be given out over here. There will be no board examination in this case, that is, there will be board exam at the end of the 10th and 12th standard in the semester system, that is as semester it is being given out. And the case. Now, another fifth one is undergraduate system. It is not been shown in this particular slide. It is been there up to 4th standard, but it is not been given in the higher education system, how it is being given out over here. Undergraduate system, undergraduates is going to be given out over here 3 years. I think here undergraduate average subject will be either 3 or 4 duration of a multiple exit options, as in this case. I would like to come. Post-graduation in this case, if you have completed your education in 4 years, you will have only first year graduation 1 year. If you have completed your graduation in 3 years, then once again post-graduation is going to be given out over here 2 years. That is 1 year PG or 2 year PG is also being given out over here in the kind. Once again, research stage. In the research stage, I think earlier, if at all you want to go for the PhD registration, you should have a MPhil degree or a PG degree. Now that has been changed in this national education policy. Research stage consists of pursuing the quality of research leading to a PhD in any core subject, multidisciplinary subject. Even in this case, it is going to be highlighting on the multidisciplinary task you are going to be making it. 3 to 4 years for a full time and part time is respectively we are going to be making it in the process. The earlier MPhil degree was there to go for the higher education. MPhil degree was also there. Now that MPhil degree is totally eliminated in this particular NAP. NAP is not recognizing MPhil degree as in this case. That has been given different structure in the NAP. That is MPhil degree has been eliminated totally in this particular kind of an NAP. Last one is here, lifelong learning. Multiple exit, multiple entry system. That is national education policy is going to be highlighting over here. Multiple input and multiple exit system. That we will be learning it over here in this kind. The current system of 10 plus 2 system is being replaced by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curriculum structure. crossing, that is corresponding to age to 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18 years respectively. That is here 5 is 3 to 8, 3 is once again 8 to 11, 3 is once again 11 to 14, 4 is going to be 14 to 18. This is being changed over here in this kind. It will bring the age group of 3 to 6 under the school curriculum, the most important here in the national education policy. 3 to 6 years, earlier it was being called as an Anganwadi, nursery, all these things and all, now it is being comes under the preschool education or under school curriculum. It has been bringing it over here. Most of the time we have already come across over here, the emphasis on the fundamental point of a national education policy on 2 points, literacy and numeracy. The extracurricular vocational stream in schools are being identified in the best possible way. Vocational education is a start with the class 6 internship student internship. That is what here, class with the internship. I think now in engineering system, internship is there. Now at the national education policy, in the national education policy, internship will start at 6th class itself. Student learn coding from the grade 6 onwards only. I think by that time, it will be easy for the people who can learn the good things over here. They can live their life by learning with the internship. They can understand. Here, teaching up to a class 5 grade, which is being given out over here, mother tongue. Mother tongue plays a very important role over here. No language will be imposed on any student to learn of this kind. That is in the national education policy. This is wonderful concept in national education policy. In one of the semester, 10 days bagless period. No bag you need not to carry to the college or school. That is sometimes during grade 6 to 8, in turn the local vocational experts such as carpentry, garden, potteries, artists, etc. Sometimes you will not be able to understand all these things and all. Even which are being people are learning at engineering level, they have been introduced at 6 to 8. That is going to be identified over here. Bagless period. During this bagless period, they need not to carry any bag to the school, but they need to carry understand about the vocational, that is over here. Vocational experts are going to be there in the college, schools. Then they are going to be give the internship opportunity from grade 6 to 12. We are going to be trying to understand. Now in this case, AICTE and UGC has been enlightening over here 360 holistic approach card for the teachers. Now that has been making it on the students also. Assessment reforms 360-degree holistic progress card, that is tracking student progress for achieving learning outcomes. It is also there. That is going to be called as ABC. It is going to be called ABC. That is what it is being identified over here. We will try to understand. It is there in the next slide. Flexibility of choosing subject in national education policy. You can choose any subject, what all you require. That is multidisciplinary kind of an approach you are going to be trying to understand, as in this case. When we wanted to go for understanding the point, as in the case, in order to reduce the importance in the stress and board exams will be conducted in 2 parts. I think earlier, now even PUC, SSLC, all conduction of an examination at the end of the year. Now that has been changed from conducting exam at an annually. It has been shifted to this one semester. Every 6 months once examination is going to be based in national education policy. Now, most important here, gross enrollment ratio in India, it is only 26.3%. But in NEP, they have been raising to the 50%. It means that gross enrollment ratio, education for education system, who are all been enrolling their name. That is GER, it's going to be called. Current GER is gross enrollment ratio in India. It is only 26.3%. They wanted to increase to up to the 50%. By that time, at least numeracy and literacy is going to be extended to all the people. At least 50% of the people in the India, it is going to be given out. But I was talking you already earlier, that is MPhil course will be discontinued, and all courses at undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD level will be interdisciplinary. It is being given out over here. Now, Higher Education Commission of India, HECI, come. Earlier it was AICTE was there, UGC was there, all comes under this particular head. Single umbrella body it is going to be called. Ministry of Human Resources, it is Ministry of Education has been turned. Now it has been given out over here in the Ministry of Education. Once again, it is only one commission, it has been formed, Higher Education Commission of India, HECI, to be set up entire higher education. that is excluding medical and legal. It is being brought into this particular aspect. HECI, Higher Education Commission of India. It is been replacing UGC, AICTE, all these things and all are going to be making it. Now, that is one more important highlighting on this particular national education policy. Multidisciplinary Education Research Universities, MERU, as per this with the IITs, IIMs, to be set as a model of a multidisciplinary education global standard in the country. It has been given out over here. Multidisciplinary education research in universities are going to be establishing in the later stages. I was talking to you ABC, Academic Bank of Credits. Academic Bank of Credits. What all the you are going to earn the credit during your education system, all are being made in the credit of your accounts. That's going to be called as here Academic Bank of Credits. You need not to carry any certificate. You need not. All those things on the credits have been there in your accounts, and you can make use of the credit, and you can make enhancing of the credit also in future. What all you wanted to. That's because of in national education policy, multiple entry, multiple exit system. It is being given out over here. That was not been existing in the case. That is ABC. All these. The credit bank system in NEP, it is being given out over here. Every data is being stored in the point. Even coding is being given to every student. If you just feed the code of that particular kind, all bank of credit, academic bank of credit will be stored in that, and you can make use of for whenever you required going in abroad, or you can say taking admission to an higher education. All these things and all can be used by making using of this particular point. This is a wonderful slide. Central government has been adding another important point in this case. This is one here. Now at present, the investment of a public education sector, it is only 4.6% of total GDP. If GDP is been there, any percentage of that particular GDP, only 4.6% of which it is going to be used for the education sector. Investment, public investment in education sector, it was only 4.6 earlier. Now, in national education policy, it is been stated enhancing to the 6% of GDP. It is a wonderful approach, but it should be practiced. It should. Central government has to be created this opportunity, making it or enhancing to the 6%. But anyhow, it has been already spelled out by the central government. It should be given out. Public investment in the education sector, if it reaches to 6% of the GDP, it is a I think all government sector schools can be able to enhance their infrastructure best, and they can do the wonders in the education system. That has been given out over here in the process. Now here, another highlighting of a national education policy in 2020, I think you can say here in this process. One is that here, I think, suppose if you are studying in engineering, if you study engineering first year, second year, if you dropped out from second year, you will not get any certificate in this present national education policy. Even if we can say, if you come to a final year also, if you are failed in one subject also, you will not get any certificate of a degree what all you have been completed. This is the scenario in earlier national education policy. But now here in the national education policy 2020, it is the 4 years bachelor's degree has been given out over here. One is here first year certificate in the field of study. If you are completed your first year education, it gives certificate in the field of study. Second year, if you have completed second year, then it is going to be defining over here diploma in the field of the study. I think if you have discontinued education, after that, every individual financial status of a student is not similar, not same. Some students are supposed to go back and earn money and feed the money to the family and also lead the life. That will be the situation in Indian scenario. If such situation is there, even he can stop his education and go for earning and also feed the money to the family members and get the lead the life. And after that, 4 years or 3 years or 2 years or 6 years, if he is able to come back to the study once again, he can directly come to a third year and continue his education from the awarding with a degree with that of completing over the third year. Like that here, multiple entry, multiple exit option, which is going to be identified. That is what here, in first year, if you completed, you will get the certificate in the field of study. Second year, diploma in the field of study. I think there is a one controversy here in national education policy. Now, at present in national education policy 1986, it says very clearly, diploma is 3 years. But now here, by completing only 2 years, if you are getting diploma, that even committee is thinking how it is to be reformed and how it is going to be rethink about this particular diploma in the field of study. They are been planning, it has not been come out, and I think a lot more work is going on in this particular kind of a diploma in the field of study. Then third year, award with a degree. I think if you have completed your degree, you will get the awarding with a degree. If you have completed 4 years, awarding degree with a research and honors, that's going to be given out over here. If you drop out at a third year, if you drop out at 2 year, if you drop out at 1 year, you will get the different certificates at a different stages you are going to be given out over here. This is a national education policy highlighting over here. You can just look over here, higher education structure in national education policy, first year certificate, second year diploma, third year degree, fourth year, once again, there are 2 paragraphic consideration point. Sir, I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you, madam. And slides are also changing?
yes, sir.
Yes, fine. Third year degree, which have been taking place here, fourth year, that is a honors degree with a research, that is PhD field of study. And here, fourth year honors degree without research. That is you are going to be making it over here. Fifth year, you will get the master's degree. Earlier, it was different kind. 4 year, then after that 2 years, I think you can say BA, BSc, BCom, 3 years plus 2 years PG. Now here, in this national education policy structure, it has been given clearly as in this case, first year certificate, second year diploma, third year degree. Fourth year, once again, two conditional approach are there. One is that here, the honors degree with research, you can proceed this one. And now here, without research, you will get the PG. Without research, you will get the PG. With research, you will directly go for the PhD study. You can proceed with this one. That's what it has been. National education policy is going to be enlightening. And another point, national education policy is also been enlightening over here. National Assessment Center, PARAG, is being created in the accessing of the student. Student accessibility is also another important aspect. It has been enlightened over here in the national education policy. What is that here? PARAG. What is that PARAG which is being identified? Performance, assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. That is PARAG. It has been identified. Even in the National Education Policy 2020, that is has been created. This PARAG has been created to assess the student. Any student has to be certified. Assessment is most important. In this case, National Education Policy has been created PARAG, performance, assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for holistic development is been created. One more part in the case of a national education policy, we are going to be making it. What is PARAG? It has been identified over here in this case. PARAG is being setting over here in this assessment, shift towards the competency-based assessment, and also here in 21st century skills, promoting critical thinking alignment in the 21st century in the classrooms. What for the objective it is being given out in the PARAG? Setting norms, standards, guidelines, and for assessment of an evaluation. SAC, it is being identified. What is SAC? Guiding the SAC, State Achievement Surveys. NAS is also there. National Achievement Survey is also there. Then MALO is also there. That is monitoring achievement of a learning outcome in the country. These are the 4 important guidelines have been established in the National Education Policy, setting up the PARAG approach in this National Education Policy 2020. I think comparison is there. I think this comparison is going to be a lot more in this case. I would like to take later over here. I think I'm going to share these slides. I think 31 comparison have been made. Those comparison already discussed in the other slides. You can understand how best you are going to be making it. I think 32 points have been listed over here in the National Education Policy 1986, what was there and what is there in this National Education Policy. I think in JIT we have discussed in the earlier slide, you can make use of this in the comparison of this 1986 to 2020 National Education Policy. Highlights of the policy of National Education Policy, we are going to be making it over here. This now higher education policy, the monitoring council institute like UGC, AICTE, MCI, DCI, INC, all are comes under the HECI, Higher Education Commission of India. Now NBA was there, NAC was also there. All those NBA and NAC all comes under the National Accreditation Council, NAC. It is going to be identified, NAC. And it is also establishing NRF, National Research Foundation. NRF is also establishing over here in this kind. Another important point here, HECI, Higher Education Commission of India, it has been identifying over here multidisciplinary approach. It has been making it over here by 2020-30. It has been reaching over here to have 3,000 students in the point, and timeline is being fixed over here in this point. There are two kind of disciplinary of universities are there. One is that multidisciplinary universities, MU it has been called. Multidisciplinary autonomous college, all colleges now which are being calling now, all will be named, renamed multidisciplinary autonomous college. That is going to be called as AC1, which is being identified in this case. Multidisciplinary universities, multidisciplinary autonomous colleges, in the future they are going to be renamed into the process. Now here, multidisciplinary university will be of two types. Once again, two types. One is that research, that is initiative universities, and also teaching intensive university. One is that purely for research, one is for purely for teaching intensive universities. There are two. That is, one is a multi-universities which has been established in two types. One is for only research intensive university. Second one is here teaching intensive universities. Every existing college will develop either degree, that is granting autonomous college. I think I was talking here in the earlier slide, multidisciplinary autonomous college. Almost all college will be in autonomous state, that they are going to be making it over here. I think now here GEC, that is GER, gross enrollment ratio, it is going to be enhancing from here 26.3 2018 to 50% by 2035. By that time it is going to be making it over here. Another important area we are going to be trying to understand over here, almost all the choice-based credit system is going to be converting into the flexible competency-based credit system. I think 18th point, you can just look over here. Choice-based credit system is revised by an innovative and flexible competency-based credit system. It is going to be identified as in this case. And now examination system will be changing from high stakes examination, semester and semester, that is evaluating in the comprehensive evaluation system. It is going to be created in the process. Now here almost all these particular points are being given out, highlighting of a policy of NEP 2020 for the higher education system, how this is going to be given out. ODL is there. That is a 22nd point. You can just look over here. Encouragement of an online distance learning. It's most important point. It is being enlightened over here in this national education policy. That all these things and all are being there in the case. That is innovations in national education. What all the innovations has been taken place over here? I think top 100 universities, top 100 top Indian universities will encouraged to operate in foreign countries. I think which have been top 100 universities, they can establish their universities in the other countries. It's a wonderful approach. And now top 100 top universities will be allowed and facilitate to operate, or you can say operate in India. I think whenever we want to go for the MS degree in abroad, suppose you say UK or US or in any other country, developed country, it is minimum 30 lakhs to 40 lakhs it required. Go for the MS education system. If other universities, or you can say other broader top 100 universities coming back to India, coming in India and then establishing in India, and instead of going to the other countries, acquiring a master degree, and you can being there in India, you can acquire the degree over here. Even you can serve the India also, being in India, getting a good degree by the foreign countries, foreign universities which are being given out. This is innovations in national education policy. It is being given. It is a real wonderful concept or meaningful concept. Innovations has been brought in the national education policy. Even of our Indian top universities, 100 top universities, they can go and establish in the other countries. And other countries, 100 top universities can establish their universities in India. That is a wonderful opportunity. That is a knowledge sharing approach that is being taking place in national education policy. Every classroom have access to the latest education and technology, enables better learning experience. Nowadays, every classroom is going to be established better learning approach. Even AICTE is going to be making it national education policy. That is in the higher education, they have been given out, spelling out over here. Even using chat and talk, and also you can use the LCD, you can use the animation, you can take the students to the industry and explain the things and all those things and all are been adding in from this academic year only. For first year engineering graduation, it has been taking place. Then faculty stability will be provided appointing institution, that is transferring to the other institution. That is also it is being given out over here. Faculty members get curriculum pedagogy freedom within the approved framework. They can make changes what all they required over here in this kind. That's because of the freedom is there in the process of creating an education system. In this process, you are going to carry out some more innovations. API policy will be clearly being defined in the institutional development plan. I think you know what is meant by API plan. It is being given out by API policy, which is going to be given out. And another point here, achieving sustainable education development goal, SEDG, that's going to be called as GER. That is a GER, I think 50% by 2035 is going to be making it over here. All these are being highlighting over here in the sustainable education development. It is being given out in the innovation in the national education policy. We are going to be making it. I think it is a time of processing is very, very fast in this case. I think I have listed around 30 points of innovations in national education policy. Only which are being important, only have been touched upon over here in this case. Even national education policy expenditure in India is been taking place 4.43 to 6%. All these things we have been discussed over here in this process. All these around 30 points innovations has been included over here in the national education policy. Then implication of national education policy in this case, how it all you can make it in the implications of a national education policy. Only qualified role models have an opportunity to elevate to the top of the decision-making role. I think now acquiring a vice chancellor post or any good positions in the education system, only qualified and role models people can occupy a higher positions in the organization or in the universities. That is being created in the national education policy. It is a wonderful, it should be brought in this kind. I think cleaning of a higher education bureaucratic system, that is here, the bureaucratic system, it is there existing, that is going to be cleaning in the higher education system, that is going to be taking in the process. That's implications we are going to be making it. Transformation of a single discipline college into the multidisciplinary autonomous degree awarding colleges. Now, I think BA, BSc, BCom, I think all these things and all, or you can say all have been converted into the multidisciplinary autonomous degree college one. Focus on research, innovation, UG and PG level, both things you are going to be making it. Single regulatory entire HEIs, that is only one single umbrella we have come across over here. Higher education Commission of India, which is being given out over here. Eliminating of a commercialization of an education, most important over here. Nowadays, people are being starting in their education system to earn money. Now, it is going to be eliminated in national education policy, making an education system as a commercialization. That is going to be planned it over here in the national education policy. They are going to be eliminating to make it commercialization. It is a social aspect only. It is being brought in over here that they have been bringing it over here in national education policy. We are going to be making it over here. Private university will overtake public universities due to the affordable 20% of the free ship that's going to be given out. All these things are only common fee structure. Everywhere it is going to be fixed in this case. All those things are going to be planning it in the particular kind of an approach. That is impediment to realize NEP proposals from the stakeholders point of view based on the predictive analysis, how it all it is being given out over here. I think another 10 minutes is there. I would like to suppose merits. Now earlier it is a student, now at present system it is a teacher centric. Now it has been converted into the teacher centric to the student centric. That competency based continuous evaluation system has been established in this national education policy. Then research and innovation focused, improved STEM model of higher education curriculum. Then faculty productive based research outputs. Autonomy at all levels, you are going to be making it. Merit-based student admission, faculty selection and promotions, even selection of a faculty. Earlier, without any PhD, people are going to be recruiting as a teacher. But now, in the 2020-21, unless and until you did not acquire a PhD, you will not be allowed, you will not be selected as a faculty member in 2000. That is the national education policy. As present, it is being given out over here. Education leaders should be role models. That interacting, controlling, monitoring system, then boost to an online training program, control of quality through the binomial accreditation process. I think now getting accreditation by only one organization is not going to be what's good. I think binomial accreditation process. I think some other organization should come to your college and say that your accreditation is good, or you can say process of quality of education is good. That are going to be making it changes in this particular kind of national education policy. We are going to be talking about all these things and all. Suppose you say some of the suggestions. I think these are all been given out over here. PhD should be compulsory qualification for permanent teaching position in the college of the university. Compulsory faculty annual publication leading to an IPR. I think every teacher has to be published their good papers, in this case in the IPR. Using service retired professional, using after retiring of retired professors also can use to a service. It's a research guide that is also being given out. Proper definition of a multidisciplinary college, it is going to be highlighting over here. Then compulsory 3 models of teaching learning process in the higher education system. Vocational training based on earn while learn encouragement. I think when you go for the MS degree in other countries, I think 2 semesters they will have to study in the campus. 3rd semester they have to go out and they should learn and earn also. Here also same. That is a vocational training based earn while learning encouragement is been making it further suggestions. It is been incorporated in the national education policy, which is been given out. There are 17 points are there. I think I am going to give it to you. You can just look over here in this case. Some drawbacks are also there. Language seems to be a negative factor in national education policy. Then finding a competitive teacher becomes a problem. Nowadays we say all these things, unless and until there is a good teacher, national education policy cannot be implemented at all. Unless and until you are not going to be teach properly, and you cannot make the proficient, you cannot bring the proficiency in education system. That is where here finding competent teacher is become a problem in this particular kind of an NEP. Then they are going to be training it, and they are going to be modifying the teacher mindset, and they are going to be bringing using of a point as in this kind. I think last one here. Conclusion, national education policy is expected to fulfill its objectives by 2030. It takes minimum of 10 years. I think many, some people has been telling that here is required minimum of 15 to 20 years to say that to implement this national education policy. Expect to fulfill its objectives. What all the objectives is been framed to make it complete fulfillment of an objectives of the national education policy, it requires minimum of 10 years. Then faculty members also get autonomy by choosing curriculum, methodology, pedagogy, evaluation model within the given policy of a framework. All these things and all are being given out over here in the enlightening in the particular process of an activity we are going to be planning it. Last one, it is a beautiful slide which is being given to make you to understand conclusion of a higher education system. In national education policy, earlier it was teacher-centric. In National Education Policy 2020, it is student-centric. Earlier, it was only information-centric. Now, it is being changed to a knowledge-centric. Earlier, it was a marks-centric. Now, marks-centric is being changed to a skill-centrics. Earlier, it was an examination-centric. Now, it is being changed to an experimental-centric. Experimental-centric. Now, earlier in the 1986 education policy, it was only learning centric. Now, it is not only learning centric, it is also going to be changes to a research centric. Last one is here. Earlier, it was choice centric. You are going to be selecting that choice centric. Now, here competency centric. Unless and until you are not competent enough, you cannot get success in any nook and corner of the work of every individual lifestyle. That is only one good slogan is being identifying over here. You should make wanted by others. You should make yourself wanted by others. What does it mean that here? Unless and until competency is not being built in individual mindset, a person cannot be identified. He may not be wanted by others. That is what here it is being identified over here. National education policy is being clearly highlighting over here in this kind. You should make yourself wanted by others. Preparing over here in the changes of this one from teacher-centric to student-centric, information-centric to knowledge-centric, mark-centric to skill-centric, examination-centric to experimental-centric, learning-centric to the research-centric, choice centric to a competency centric, looking all these student centric, knowledge centric, skill centric, experimental centric, research centric, competency centric. All these plays a very, very important essential in the national education policy 2020. It is going to be highlighting over here. Now here, what are the importance? What is the challenge now? There are two important are there. One is National Education Policy 2020 aims making an Indian globe knowledge superpower. Okay, fine. It's very important. Making knowledge superpower is good. It's important. NEP also is going to be cleared by cabinet only in third major revamp of the framework of the education in Indian choice independence. It is only cabinet declared, and it has not been much taken place over here. Much elaborative study is to be required over here in the national education policy. Much needed is essential over here. This is because of in the importance. That is welcoming move. It has been taken place in the challenges, real challenges. It is there in this case. NEP the 2020 approved by the cabinet, not approved by the parliament, or not presented even in the parliament. Once it is being presented in the parliament, then some of the changes are going to be imbibing into the particular kind of national education policy. Then another point over here, it is the only policy. It is not a law at all. It is the only policy. Any policy of a central government or state government are to be implemented successfully. It is only based on how best you are going to be carrying out, effectively implementing in the part of a society. Unless and until if it is not being able to carry out implementing properly, it will never get success. That is what here it is being given out. It is only policy, not a law. If it is law, it should be implemented easily. It is because of policy, it has to be modified, changes, acceptability, it is being given out. Implementation of a proposals depends upon the further suggestions, regulations, and both states and central government of education, and it is still modification is to be taking place in the national education policy. We are going to be taking it. I think these are all in the nutshell of a conclusion of a national education policy. New structure has come across 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. NRF national research funding, that is also been included over here in the nutshell. Multidisciplinary and holistic education system is also being given in the national education policy. Multilingualism, it is also there in the NEP 2020. Conceptual understanding, it is another kind. Conceptual understanding is brought in this particular kind of a nutshell of an NEP. Formative assessment. Assessment of a student is placed entirely different in this particular kind of an NEP 2020. Multiple entry, multiple exit options. It is there in this case. Earlier it was not there. This has been, I think people are controversing making over here. Even NEP is also making the people to leave the course and go for this earning money, as in this case. People are talking about this. It's also once again perceptions over here. You are going to be making it multiple entry and multiple exit options. And you are all going to be learning life skills, and also you are going to be making it technological integration. I think everything is being in integration means summation, bringing all together in one and making it attractive, and also workability in the process of the structure. Then 4 years integrated the program, technical engineering education program, which is being given out. The critical thinking, experimental learning. MHRD ministry, the education ministry has been changed. All these are all being learned it over here in the nutshell of a national education policy. These are the people who are being given out their opinion about the national education policy. Just to read out, you can say here in this case, a new education policy announced by the government is truly visionary in nature. It's been given out. National education policy is 2020 is going to be a game changer in the future of the education system in India. I think some people have been given their thoughts. The new education policy has brought much awaited reforms in the long-term overhaul of the system. It's going to be identified. I think I have been collected some of the information which have been given out their thoughts over here in this kind. I think I was talking. I think he addressed on this. We upload the Indian government's vision of the increased gross enrollment ratio from 25, it is for 26.6%. Currently, I think it is currently. In 2018, it was 25.6%. Now it is 25.7%. Now it is to be enhanced by 2030. It is going to be 50%. It is going to be highlighting over here. So these are all there. I think I'm going to share the slide. You can make use of this one. I think. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the.
So thank you, sir, for your very wonderful and informative session, sir.
Yes, sir. I'll just.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
we have learned completely about this national education policy. So
Yes, sir.
we have got more input, sir.
Thank you, sir. You asked the participants to give the feedback in the chat box, sir.
Yes, sir.
I request all the participants to give the feedback in the chat box.
Some questions also there.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
I'll just read it out, sir.
Yes, sir.
So with due regard,
Yes, sir.
without proper learning or application-based approach at UG level, can we move towards research-centric?
Yes, we can move because the education, of course, is also logically thinking correct. But national education policy implication, if it is taken place from the primary, it takes another 10-15 years to implication taking place in the higher education. But they have been trying in the higher education system. From this higher education, from this year only, they have been planning to implement from the AICTE, UGC also they have been running. Yeah, not only AICTE, even UGC, all universities are also bringing it this higher education implementation in from this academic year only. Why? Because I think Karnataka is the first state to implement national education policy in the nation. I think you can say in India, only first state it has been implemented. Its government ordinance also has been placed over here from the state government of Karnataka, implementing of national education policy. As he has been asked a good questions over here, how come it has been possible to go for the higher learning? I think it is possible, sir. Inculcating the informations in this the research part, it is possible to proceed in the higher education also. In the research part also, it is possible, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, dear participants?
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, madam.
Thank you for wonderful your speech, sir. Very nice for NP education.
Thank you,
Sir,
madam.
how to develop for improve the staff level equal to policy of NEP?
Madam, that's only they have been planning it to make the policy in such way that how best teachers are going to be rewarded. Earlier it was teacher centric, now student centric it has been come across. Now they are been also bringing it competency in the teachers. How competency they are bringing it in this case? API score was there earlier also, that has been continuing, and every year faculty members are to be contribute in the area of research and also in the area of innovative thinking. The national education policy has been enlightening on this particular points also, madam, to make it a motivation also. Even if you did not publish a paper, you may not get the increment also. They have been planning it to implement this kind of this one. Unless and until we did not make our mind to learn and study, and we cannot compete with the other mindsets across. Even in the other countries, developed countries, universities are making incorporating this kind of policies. Even those policies are wanted to bring it to the Indian universities also. If you contribute and you will get a reward of that kind, they are going to be making it in the process of an education. It's a good question.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Very nice sessions. Thank you for
madam.
all
Thank you.
organizer also, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any question from the participants, sir? I'll be more happy if you ask question.
How to improve the staff level?
That is answered, Amos.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir, in the staff level, competency is being built, sir. Now, competency, unless and until even to acquire a higher education position, to go for the vice chancellor position, until and unless you doesn't have any stuff and what you say, the educational stuff in the individual mindset, and you can say he in his resume, he will not be level going to be applied to the position of that. That has been there in the national education policy. It has been attractively brought in the national education policy. Unless and until you did not perform that, you will not be achieved the higher positions as in this case.
So implementation is the key factor here.
Yes, sir. Every policy is success or failure. It's only by the implementation state, sir.
Yes.
The central government has been telling that it is should be increasing for 4.6 to 6% GDP of 6% of the GDP to be investing in the national education system. Whether the government is planning to invest, if it has been investing, it is good policy. Unless and until if it is not implementing, once again at the government stage only, it is going to be failure with that. If that has been taken place over here, most of all government schools and colleges will be wonderfully brought. The infrastructure. If the infrastructure, everything is been good, and teaching environment also is going to be effectively changes accordingly. That's only it is going to be making changing in the, unless and until environmental did not change and culture never changes. This all will happen only by means of an implementation state.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, sir?
There is one question, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. If there is no question, it's my duty to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to the organizing team. It's a wonderful topic you have been organizing, and also on behalf of myself and personal behalf and from my college behalf, I personally extend my sincere thanks to organizer and giving me an opportunity to deliver a talk on National Education Policy 2020. Thank you, sir. Morgan, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor. So we had a very wonderful session.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy. I'm pleased to hear these words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
So thank you all for joining us. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. So we have come to the end of session 2, day 2. Next session will begin at 1:15 p.m. and will be on core values and codes of professional ethics by Dr. N. Pugarendi, Professor, Panimalar Engineering College. So request all of you to join back in the same link for session 3. Thank you all for joining.